Hi guys and welcome. In this video I'm going to be explaining what a vector store is, how to set up a vector store and why you should use a vector store. So if we start with what a vector store is. So a vector store is a way to store information as numbers. It helps your agent to understand context and meaning and not just see words, which is beneficial because your agent is now able to find relevant answers and relevant documents because it stores words with similar meaning close to each other, which again helps your agent to perform better. In the agent that we're building, the reactive maintenance agent, it's beneficial because these companies tend to provide a wide range of services. So you want to be able to select the right service so you can send the right operative and also charge the right price. And more importantly, you want to make sure that you have the right personnel there, because if you misallocate the service, you can send the wrong person and that person won't be able to do the job, creates a negative customer experience. Yes, you could offer to, another visit to send the right person, but that is costing your business money and frustrating the customer. So in this example here, I have an agent that has a vector store, and I'm just going to be testing the answers that we get. You could expand your prompt to include the services and the prices of the services, but to be more in control, I think it's best to have a vector store. So in this sheet here, I have the query of the customer, the answer that I expect my agent to give me, which is going to go in this column, and the price that I expect my agent to give me, which is going to go in this column. So if we run this, we'll see how our agent performs. So that's right. So you can see that our agent performed as expected. So this is just confirmation that this vector store has worked and we're not going to be misallocating services. So you can see every line pretty much matches the expected inquiry and the expected price, which is good. That's good. It's got a little error here. That's just because there's no more rows. Now we're going to create our vector store. So to begin this, we need to create a project. So we go into our SQL editor. We need to create a query to create a table because embedding vector doesn't show up in the interface. Like if you went here, we just called it services, service prices. And we came here and tried to create a column called embeddings, and then we wanted to choose a type called vector. We'll see that it's not here. So if we go into ChatGPT, what we're going to do is we're going to create a query. And this is going to help us later on, but let's just test. So we copy this, come into Superbase. It should give us we run this. It failed. Cool. So let's try this again. I recommend creating a new query and then just delete the old one. But to be honest, cool. So that worked. So we should have our table, and you can see that we do in fact have our table. Which is good. Now we need to get the information into our vector store in Superbase. I recommend obviously taking this information and then putting it into ChatGPT and just asking it to abbreviate it, so it allows you to create better matches, and the agent works a bit quicker. You can see I've done that already, so I'm just going to take this information and put it into this agent here that gets the information into Superbase. So to get the information into our Superbase project, we need to create new credentials, because this shows my old information from a different project. So we just create new credentials. So let's create the new credentials. Project settings, API, yeah, so copy this URL. That's what it says here. Copy the project URL. Put that as our host. Now we need the secret, which is here. So we should now see our table, and that's our table. So cool. That's our table. Here to get the embeddings, to get the embeddings, we need to make an API call to OpenAI. You just add your account details, and if we look at the documentation, it gives us the URL and the type of request that we need, which is a post. That's what we put here, and then it just tells us the information that we need to pass. So we need to give it the model and the input. That's what is required. So that's all set up. In here is just the information from our Google Sheet. So it's a bit of a long-winded way, but all I do is the ID, so the ID of the service, and the name. We got the name. Now we just need the description and the price. Cool. Cool. So this should now work and get information into. Yeah. Let's just test this. So this one. We got an error. So I don't think we need to do this. We might just do it automatically. Then our embeddings is null. Let's try that again. Maybe because we did a step, I don't know. Yeah, so we're getting the information. I think it's because I've probably not, I've not actually passed that into here. So that should now work. We can see we got the information, which is good. So we'll just get rid of this. Sure, there's a quicker way. This is the way I'm doing it. Oh, what's wrong? So, so now we've got all the information into Superbase. So now we need the function that is going to enable us to pass embeddings into our vector store and then receive an answer. I have created this query before. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy what I did before. If you want to screen grab this, you can. Then I'll probably put it in the description. But it's a case of trial and error. And as you go back and forth with ChatGPT, it will make suggestions on how you can do this, how you can do that. And even when you try it, you'll realize there's some things that you want. So I'm just going to copy this to ChatGPT. I mean, really all we need to do is just change the name of the table, to be honest. Just up here. Actually, ChatGPT. So I'll probably just do that if I run into any issues. I'll come back. So I already have an agent that I set up that doesn't use evaluations, and now we're going to convert it to now use, that doesn't use embeddings, but now we're going to convert it to use embeddings. So it's actually already in a, which is cool. But I think below, I've got the prices, yeah. So I'll get rid of this. If you want, you can leave it in. But yeah, I'll just get rid of it. So it's got less to look, less information to digest. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Cool. Of course, now we need to add our vector node. So we see we've already got our account. Just need to give it a little bit of a description. Your job is customer's query. Something simple. Should be all right here. Relevant service and price. We only want one answer. Nope. then what we want to do is we want to add the name of our query. So our query is called match service price. Then we want to add an embeddings open AI. But you actually need to take the customer's query and again pass that to make an API call, send the information, and what we will receive is the embeddings, and then that is what goes into our agent. So it knows, it just takes that information and searches our database. So we'll add an API call here. So go for HTTP now. So the body's going to be the information that we send. So using JSON, and then if we go in here, it tells us what sort of formats it for us. We don't need this. We need to execute our previous nodes. Cool. So what that is, invalid URL. I'll start with yes, that works. So now when we run our agent, it's now going to use embeddings. So we'll come to, so let's run this and see how it goes. Should trigger this, yep. So let's trigger that node. And we got an error, but I think it's because we're probably getting it from the wrong place. My bad, yo. So yeah, I didn't put the name of the table. So that's the name of the table in there. Now it should work. Oh, maybe not. Does not exist. Ah. So now we've got table. Pretty sure it's service prices. Yeah, service underscore prices. And the function is called match service price. That's RPC. Let's check our query. There you go. That's the thing you gotta be careful with when copying functions. So let's see if that works. Not yet, because I feel like I've got to delete, I've got to replace the function. So it service price or service prices? So let's delete this. That's the table, that's the function. If this doesn't work, I'll probably change the name. Cool. So that works. So the issue was that with me copying this function, I didn't change all the relevant information. That changing this wasn't even correct. That's just the name of the function. What I should have changed was where it gets the information. Yeah, so from there should be the name of your table. So yeah, that's the one line. Say the one line. That's what you need to change. This is the name of your table. I'll probably change this actually. And that should be it. So information is going into here, which is good. It may have skipped some. Yeah, you can see the information is coming in now, so that's good. And guys, there we have it. That is how you set up a vector store. So happy automating. I hope that was helpful. Like, comment, and subscribe, and watch out for more videos.